Good morning, everyone. I think the time is very close to lunch, and I know everybody is getting hungry, same as me. So I try to spend only maybe 20 minutes. And today, my presentation is about the recent development of the test infrastructure and also the sharing of the research infrastructure. I think, I hope it works. And okay. We are TISTA. TISTA is now under the Ministry of Transport. We are under the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovations. Okay, so our work is to promote the science, technology and innovations to make sure that we have a safe, efficient, and also the green rail transport in Thailand. So that's our missions. So we work together with some partners overseas, and also this is our center. We have worked together with Railway Alliance in Thailand, and we also try to make a connection with some organizations in ASEAN countries, especially in Malaysia, and Indonesia, Philippines, and so on. So that's what we have done. And actually, I just want to give you a picture of what we have done in the past. Actually, we have a very strong background from automotive industry. Okay. So we have done a lot of things in the automotive industries, and then we changed our center. We separate from a material center about 2017 somewhere. Yeah, we have separate as a center. We call RRTC. And the RRTC is mainly focused on the railway testing. Okay, so we try to develop our test capability in the railway testing. So why testing is so important in the railway? Because the railway is we can say is a public safety industry, right? Because if you have some derail, you have a derail, that means somebody dies and or lost property. So that's why the testing and also some other process is very important in the rail industries. Okay. And yes, well, you know this very well. I think in ASEAN we are going to have more than 40,000 kilometers total distance in ASEAN for the railway. And I think maybe Thailand is the longest distance one in ASEAN. Yeah, we have a lot of projects in Thailand, and we also have in Malaysia, right? In Malaysia, East Coast Rolling in Malaysia, RTS project in Malaysia. We also have projects in Philippines. Indonesia also they have a plan for a railway development, and also in Myanmar actually before the military revolutions. Yeah. So that means in ASEAN there's a lot of railway projects, and only in Thailand, right? In Thailand, yes, we want to have a rail network, right? Rail networks, and we want to have something we call the modal shift from the road to the rail, right? And then we want to have the national logistic cost lower, right? And to be able to have more competitiveness, yeah, in the industry in the future. So we have done a lot of things. At the project we have like existing railway distance, more than 4,000 kilometers, double track project and new routes. Yesterday I heard from the permanent secretary that we are going to have a new routes, 12 of them. Okay, so totally we have more than 3,000 kilometers, a new distance of railway in the future, I think. And for the high-speed rail, we have more than 2,500 kilometers and more. So it's going to take place in Thailand in the short-coming years. Yeah, this is the current situation of railway in Bangkok, I think. Yeah, the biggest, the largest railway station in ASEAN, in Bang Si Grand Station. You know this already. Yeah, we have so many systems, many yellow, pink, blue, and so on lines, and also high-speed train in the future, and the double-track projects. So all of this we have to prepare. We cannot just have the rail distance more and more without any preparations. Okay, for what? Because we have to make sure that the rail is safe, efficient, and in the new era of the global warming, it must be green as well, right? So that's why we have RRTC in TISTA. TISTA is under Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation. Yeah, we want to establish an NQI system. Yesterday, yeah, you heard about the NQI system from the speech in the morning. It's very important because it talks about the standard, the testing, and product certification, and so on. So we would like to be part of that NQI system establishment in Thailand and also in ASEAN. And we also want to be a third-party laboratory in ASEAN and to drive for ASEAN railway connectivities. Actually, we have done something like we have contact with KAI Indonesia, KTM in Malaysia, and so on, so that we would like to help to work together, how we can cooperate to make sure that in the future our systems are the same. We can work together, we can connect the railway, and also some other thing else, like we have the same system, so for example. And we want to promote for the local content, which is is a national policy to produce locally, not only to import from overseas. And also, we would like to do some research in Thailand, especially for the battery powertrain, EV conversion, and so on. So that's the goal for RRTC. And this is just talk about some achievement, which is, I think, not really important, but just to tell you something about we are accredited according to ISO IEC 17025. So that means all the tests that we have done is according to the international standard and accept around the world. Okay. Actually, I will show you that we have a lot of projects done in Malaysia and Singapore, Malaysia, in Indonesia. Also in Myanmar, we provide some tests for them as well before the military revolution. And we have 5 working areas, but today we just want to talk about only the testing because the topic is about the testing capability, right? Okay. So we talk about the testing because testing is important in railway, especially the safety. And when talk about the testing, you know this very well, that since the beginning, since the start of the projects, engineering, construction, and procurement, civil works start from civil works, then the track works, and rolling stock comes, and then power source, power energy, whatever types of energy. It could be electrification, or it could be hydrogen power in the future, can also be battery powertrain, and signaling and telecommunication, and then all of this takes normally about 5 years, right? And then it comes the stage for the operation and maintenance, which takes more than 30 years. So that means that we have to bear a very large, very huge cost of operation if we don't prepare ourselves for some technologies during the operation and maintenance. Yeah, this just talk about the NQI, but I don't want to repeat it again today. I think just important point is that NQI requires testing. Yeah, we must have standards and then methodology, and have the conformity assessment, and the testing also a very important part of the NQI system. Yeah. And this is what I want to show to you actually today. Sorry, maybe this one. These are our key test facilities in Tista now. We have about the railway test. Actually, all of this were invested by the Thai government, invested by the Ministry of Transport. We are under Ministry of Ministry, not Ministry of Transport, but we got the funding from Ministry of Transport to invest all of these equipments. So today, actually, I just want to invite all of you researchers to come and use this facility for your research, because there are a lot of things, there are a lot of equipment that we can utilize to support the research in the railway. Okay. For example, for the UJM, which is very normal for basic research for material, we have from just small 125 tons up to 500 tons. That's large enough to destroy almost everything. I think so, yeah. So, and we also have something that for the fatigue test of material, we have from very small force down from 10 kilonewton or up to 50 tons at a very small, very low frequency up to high frequency. So all of these equipment are ready, and we have been providing service in these areas for more than 20 years, actually, okay? So another thing is like the checker up to 2,800 hertz, and the bogie brake test. This is the first test equipment for rolling stock in Thailand, actually. Now we have the bogie brake test in Tista, okay? We also have the bogie frame test as well. Yeah, we can apply the force up to, maybe it's not photographs here, but we can test simultaneously more than 10 actuators to make sure that the new bogie frame or the modified bogie frame is according to the international standard. For example, EN 13149, if I remember very well. Yeah. And this is our test center in Tista. We got a certification for ISO IEC 17025. We have a very quite good laboratory for civil work and track works components. And we also have the rolling stock test equipment, yes, and also the inspection and monitoring technology. All of these technologies are developed by ourselves, working together with some overseas company who are experts in that area, yes, of course. But we try to develop something by ourselves as well, okay? As I say, that if we don't prepare for our local technology in the future, we are going to pay a huge cost of the operation and maintenance in the railway. This is just to show you some photographs of what we have in the lab, the track work laboratory. We have some equipment. We can, in the past, we have provided so many tests to almost every construction project in Thailand. Yeah, and now we extend our service into our neighboring countries in Malaysia, in Indonesia, Philippines, and also in Australia as well. Yeah, and Vietnam and Myanmar, right? And actually, this is just to give you a view that it should work, but it's, okay, it works. Our experience was from the automotive industry, so we are very customized to test requirements. Okay, so any researcher who wants to do any specific test requirement according to their topics, we can customize our equipment to meet that requirement. That's the point, and we also have, as I said, we have so many test equipment in the lab so that we can adapt all of those equipment to meet your requirement as well. And if you are a researcher and doing research in the railway, of course, we don't consider you as a normal client. It's a researcher. It's a research work. So we can have a talk and then we can work together, yeah, okay? So please come and use our service, utilize our test machine. Over there is waiting for you. It is all invested by the Thai government. And this is actually, I attached so many test video, but I don't think it works because, okay, yes, it works, yes, yeah. Our very large system of the test, we call the test line system, which we can test several jobs simultaneously, okay? Like testing the vibration, testing the whole car, testing the bogie brake, and testing the bogie frame, testing some other components. So all of these tests, normally we provide a service for industries. But if any researcher comes and talk with us, that they got some funding from government funding agency, then we can have a very special price for them because we want to support the research. Okay? And I think these also some other examples of the test. Now we got a ISO INC 17025 accreditation for the civil works components, almost all of them, like sleeper, and also the barrier, the rail joint, the fastening system, insulated rail joints, and guard rail, and so on. So all of this, we got the certification for ISO IEC 17025. So if somebody wants to do this kind of test, just come and use our service, use our test facilities. And the best thing is that we got the ISO IEC 17025. That means you can ensure the accuracy of those test results. Okay? Because normally, as a working class, 1% error is the maximum error for this kind of test equipment. And this is another choice that we gave to some universities. They want to have some research and then talk with us. We can share our test equipment with them. Yeah, we want to share with them because I say that all of those equipments are invested by the Thai government, so we want to support this research. There is no need for any research to invest the same thing again and again. Take some time and face the same problems. But just come and then see the experts, and then you can do the test and you get the result and make your research. That's faster, quicker, right? So this is the point that I would like to That we have a very successful case. Actually, I just want to give you a case. We work together with a private company. It's a Japanese company, it's a Japanese-Thai company. And we share our test equipment with them almost a year. They just reserve it and use that equipment just for their research. And they can finish their development is very fast because they don't need to invest in their test equipment, don't need to invest in their personnel. If they have any problems during the test and their research, we can help them because we have a lot of experience. So this is the advantage of sharing the test infrastructure that we call the sharing of infrastructure. This is in the automotive industries, but I hope that the same, if we do this in the railway industries, for the research, we can be successful as well by sharing our test equipment, test infrastructures in the railway research. This is just an example. Sorry, I cannot disclose all of those photographs because of some conditions, but just to give you a view that during the sharing of this infrastructure, they can finish their development very fast because they don't need to worry about the design of the fixture. They don't need to worry about the setting up the equipment, the specimen, and so on. So they just come and then talk with us about what you want to do, what result you want, and then we can design all of those required process, fixture, arrangement of the test, and so on. So they can finish their development very fast. Again, this is just give you an example of, okay, maybe this is a slide I would like to, we talked about the local content yesterday. Somebody talked about the local content. It's very important policy from the Ministry of Transport. So the local content policy, now TISTA is doing this. We do a good job for testing, okay? But after we have been providing service for testing for more than 20 years, then we'll have learned that so many cases that we found that the test failed to meet the requirements. So the customer suffer from the fact that they cannot meet the requirements. So what we can do is that to help them with the redesign and modification, with the software analysis. And we can have, just this year that we got a new funding for a 3D printing with a metal 3D printing. The size is about 1 meter. 1 meter metal printing, that's a very large specimen. We got a funding from the Thai government to invest in this equipment. It's a formula from USA, right? So we hope that with these tools, new tools, we can help the industry better for local content manufacturing in the railway and also in the automotive. So this is also the other talks about the research and simulation projects we have done for some operators in Thailand, actually. And sometimes we also do some paper, some publication as well, because we have some time slot, if we have some time slot for that. And this is what I said earlier, that we also have some development for the inspection and monitoring. We focus our interest in the inspection and monitoring because we know that the construction takes only 5 years and the operation takes more than 30 years or maybe 50 years. So then that means that the inspection and monitoring technology is more important, right? Takes longer time. So we have finished some prototypes, actually, like a roll-lock system with a cooperation with an expert in Switzerland, the dynamic weighing system of the train, also the IWS instrument wheel set, a wheel which is have some sensor, and then you fix the wheel to the bogie, and then you run on the track, and you know the force, how it's going to be derailed, because you know the vertical force, lateral, longitudinal, and so on. So you can calculate how it's going to be derailed or it's safe enough for the operation. And we also have this, the high rail technology. We developed this high rail by ourselves, and we have some sensor imported from overseas. But in the future, we would like to develop all of these things locally in Thailand. So if you are interested in this field, we can have a talk, how we can collaborate to make a good research in this area. focusing on the operation and maintenance of the railway. Okay, yeah. This is another project that we got funding from UNDP, United Nations Development Program. It's not big money, not a big money, but it's a good start that we got funding from UNDP. And now we collaborate with Malaysian institutes and also in Indonesia Institute to work together on this project, 3 countries. This is a high road. I think some of you who visit the exhibition just some months ago, you saw this car, right? The high road vehicle which is run on the track, and you can inspect the rail if there are any flaw, any defects on the rail, in the rail. So it's automatically detected, and then we can make a report where the crack is. Then you can send somebody to fix it, okay, before it grows to a critical size. So this for safety of the rail operation. Still, there are a lot of things to do with this technology because, even though you have money to buy a car or to buy sensor, eddy current and NDT and so on, but they don't sell you the database. So you have to make database by yourself. So you have to make sure that you can do some experiments by yourself to make a database, okay? And if some researcher wants to cooperate with us about this project, please come, we can have a talk. And this is what I talked earlier. It is the project we call the Technical Operation for Research Development Implementation of Railway Inspection and Monitoring Technology in ASEAN countries. We work together with the SRT. And then we also work together with the KAI in Indonesia and KTM in Malaysia and some other institutes to work on this project together to push for what we call the local technology to prepare ourselves for the operation of the railway in the future. At least we can do something, right? Yeah. And that's this about the trainings from time to time. So during our visit just this year to Malaysia and Indonesia. And this is a training that from time to time we have a regular training course to train an engineer, and we collaborate with China, with CRC group on the high-speed rail projects. So we have these collaborations, and we also have some training course, regular training course we can provide to professional engineers or lecturers in universities who wants to have a very close and very professional training in our laboratory. Yeah. And they can get the certificates like this when they finish the training. Okay. I think that's the last slide of my presentation. Actually, we also demand for cooperations. We want to work together for what we call the establishment of the Transport Technology Research Center. We propose this concept to the Ministry of Transport, and we hope that they agree with us to have this kind of center in Thailand. And we also want to work with anybody who wants to do the research focused on the operation and maintenance of the railway. We have some technology already in our laboratory. I want to extend more into the implementation of those technology, okay? And we also want to do what we call the local manufacturing, technology localization, okay? And then the development and service of the railway in the inspection and monitoring technology, and also about the railway standards in Thailand. We also help some organization to draft the standard. And then lastly, it is about the technology transfer in the area of the management, rolling stock management, maritime modal transport, green logistics, and so on. So all of these are the area that we, RRTC wants to cooperate with researchers in Thailand or overseas who wants to work together with us by using our equipments and resources we have in our laboratory, invested by the Thai government, okay? So that's all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So we can have some quick questions. If you would like to have a question to the presenter, please feel free to raise your hand. So, Okay, so can I have one small question then? So currently, does SRT use any kind of AI or something with the research railway work or something?
Okay, it's a very simple question, but quite difficult to answer. Okay, actually, the technology is very standard. Anybody can use it. It can get some benefits from the technology, right? So, but in Thailand, I think they have something else. Like we have to make sure that we made something or some technology which is standard and acceptable. And we also have to make sure that it's calibrated according to the international standards and meets the requirements of the operator, the user. So finally, it depends on the user. If they want to have any specific requirement for any specific technologies, we have to develop those technologies according to their requirement because they are customer, right? So I think, in my opinion, we try to promote all of these technologies because we quite believe it's very useful in the future during the operation of the railway. But if sometimes that they are not convenient to use at the present time, we have to work with other institutes, other countries, like with Malaysia, with Indonesia, and so on. So finally, everybody we know that technology is the best to help us in this modern world, right? To cope with the derailments and something else, especially the global warming, for example. So maybe that's the answer of your question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Actually, I saw your slide about the video. You captured the video from the train. So I think that kind of data is very precious and may be able to use for like image segmentation from AI or something, which actually is my scope of interest.
Yeah, we can have a talk
so,
maybe after this.
Sure. Then. Okay. So that concludes the session. This session. So we would like to give Dr. Anat a souvenir from the staff. Sorry. Please.